seasonal greetings from me. I am your host, the Iron Phantom, and welcome to this festive edition of the Iron Phantom's Black Book. And of course, with it being Christmas, we have two festive horror stories coming your way. Oh yes, think of them as my gift to you. In fact, speaking of gift, this first story that I am going to tell you is called The Gift. Enjoy. Also, this one features the return of an old monster from a previous episode. Yes, so, here we go. The Gift. Enjoy. It was Christmas morning, and Ashley awoke to dozens of presents around the Christmas tree. Her mother and father saying, "What do you want to start with?" She said, this one. She unwrapped all of the presents until there was only but one left under the tree. Her mother said, "Ashley, aren't you going to open this one?" She said, "Who is it from, Mother?" "It does not say, but why don't you open it and see what the gift is?" So she does. And when she opens the box, she finds a clown doll with a sinister grin on his face, and long red shoes with a big red nose, and a spotted clown jumpsuit with a ruff. She looked at the clown doll and said, "I do not like it, Mummy. Make it go away. It is okay. We won't let it hurt you. It's just a toy." As the day went on, it soon became nighttime. As Ashley played with her toys and things she got for Christmas, the clown doll just sat there, emotionless but with that frozen grin. Then when it was bedtime, Ashley said, "But Christmas can't be over already." Her mother says, "Don't worry. It is still the 12 days of Christmas. Today's just the start of it. Now go on, off to bed." She goes to bed, and later as Ashley's parents go to bed, she then asks where the clown doll went. Her father saying, "I thought you moved it over there." She looks and sees it's on the other side of the room. She says, "Oh yes, I must have done. I wonder who got her this, 'cause there was no gift tag." She then puts the clown doll on a chair and turns around, feeling something pinch her bottom. Looking around, she thinks that she imagined it, and goes to bed. As the parents go upstairs, the clown doll then leans forward and turns its head, looking up towards the stairs. Later that night, a thunderstorm took place. Ashley, fast asleep in bed, she then is awoken by a clash of thunder. Not being scared of the thunder, she tries to go back to sleep until she hears a voice say to her, "Ashley, I am at the bottom of the stairs. thinking she must be imagining it as it is dark. She tries to ignore it and go back to sleep. Then the voice says, "Ashley, I'm up the first step." As it continues to say, "I'm up the second step, the third, fourth, all the way to the 10th step." Then he said, "Ashley, I'm on the landing." Now terrified, she quickly put her head under the covers until the door opened. And there the clown doll stood over her bed, and before she had time to call out to her parents, the evil clown doll cut off her head with a knife he took from the kitchen. Then the evil clown doll started to paint and decorate the walls with demonic symbols. Then her parents woke up by the clash of thunder. Checking on Ashley, they were horrified at what they found. Then the evil clown doll said, "I was a gift," and then went for the parents, also killing them, and then decorating the walls with their blood with demonic symbols. Then, as the clock struck midnight, Christmas Day was over. And then, appearing behind the clown doll, was this tall demonic presence. It was Kitole. The demon Kitole then said, "Brother, what are you doing? Possessing toys again, I see." The toy doll then turns around and says, "Brother Kitole, so good to see you. Yes, I love possessing toys. They are so much creepier. Come along, Stubbo. Let us go and leave the clown doll vessel behind." "Very well, my brother." The demon now named Stubbo leaves the clown doll, and then him and Kitole then go back to their demonic dimension. As for the bodies of Ashley and her parents, no one hears from them until the new year, when the neighbor makes the horrific discovery and dies of fright. But she manages to phone the authorities, and they thought, what kind of a sick person does this to a family? Looking around, they see everything in the bedroom covered in blood, all except the clown doll, which lays there with its constant sinister grin. Then, as the police call backup, the little clown doll then moves its eyes looking at them. Did you enjoy that terrifying tale? Did it terrify you? Yes, Christmas is supposed to be a time of joy and laughter and festivities. But of course, when it is in the world of horror, it is not always a happy ending. So let us get to our last story of this edition, shall we? Yes, now I'm sure you've all heard of the legend of Krampus, and of course, I hope you've all been good. Because this next story that I'm going to tell you is the Devil of Christmas. Austria. In the mountains of a village, a family is shown into a cabin. The cabin's caretaker, Otto, then says, I already started a fire for you, and the heating has been on for the last hour, so it should be warm, he said. The family then entered the cabin. The people, Brian and his brother John, and John's wife, Letty, and their son, Jacob, enter the cabin and get warm. Looking around, they see Christmas decorations up. Jake then looks around and sees a painting of the creature known as Krampus. He asks Otto, "What is this?" Otto then goes up to the boy and says, "Why, it is a picture of Krampus, an old legend here. They say that he is the shadow of Saint Nicholas, and when you are naughty, he takes the naughty children away. But he gives you warnings. On the first warning, he will leave his switch in your shoes. And if you're still not good, then he will leave scratches on you. And then on the third night, he will take you away." Then Brian said, "I think we will stick to Father Christmas, if that is all right." Then Letty telling Jacob, "It is all just a story, okay? Nothing to be worrying about." Then they all start to feel hungry. Otto then tells them he took the liberty of preparing a nice Austrian stew for them. Then, later on, Letty asks for second helpings. Otto then saying, "You enjoy my stew?" Letty then saying, "Well, I am with child. Early days. We tried for a while, didn't we, John?" "What is that?" "Sorry, Brian." "Yes, we did." Later on that night, as Letty is putting Jacob to bed, Jacob says, "Krampus is not going to come for me, is he, mother?" Letty then assuring him that it is just a story, to go to sleep. Not long till Christmas Day now. Only 3 more sleeps. Good night, as she kisses him on the head. As she then goes to out of the room, to her room, she sees John in the landing. John says, "We can't keep this quiet forever." Letty then saying, "Look, let us just wait until after the Christmas period is over. And I promise you, we will then leave together." The next day, when Brian is in the shower, a scream is then heard from Jacob's room. John then gets out of the shower, dries off and puts on a robe, and when he goes to the room of Jacob's, he asks, "What is the matter, my son?" He has been. Who has been? Krampus, said Jacob. John then rushing in, saying, I heard a scream. What's going on? Krampus has been, Uncle John. He's going to take me away. No, I'm sure there is a reason for this. Look, I'm sure that someone has put them in there. Could it be Otto? Said Brian. No, he was a nice man, and he went home last night. But he does have a key here, said Brian. Look, let's just forget about this and, well, go to the village and see what festivities are taking place. As they are having breakfast, Otto returns, saying good morgen to the family. He then says, today is December 23rd, and it is a joyous occasion in the village. I would very much like to take you all for an outing today. Especially you, Master Jacob. I'm sure Father Christmas would like to hear what you've got to say, what you want. He then says, it's not going to be the real Santa Claus. Otto then telling him, but everybody knows that the real Father Christmas is very busy this time of year and he needs us grown-ups to help him as much as possible. Then Brian asks, do you know that the boy found some switches in his shoes this morning? Well, I don't know how they could have got there. Then Otto tells him, but wait, there are some youngsters around here that aren't very friendly with tourists. I'll ask around and see if anyone has been sneaking into the house. This is an old cabin after all. Then Brian thanks Otto, and then they go for their outing in the Christmas village. Later on in the evening, the family are having a meal. Again, they say to Otto, thank you for cooking for us again. You really did not have to do that. Otto then tells him, it is my pleasure. Then Letty then says to Jacob, it is time for bed soon, you best go and wash up. Okay, Mom, said Jacob. Thank you for today, Mr. Otto. Otto then says, as he smiles, why, you're most welcome, Master Jacob. Then the rest of the family then say, that was superb, Jacob, spot on. I suppose this will be us doing the washing up. Very well then, said Otto, I best be getting home. Then Otto wraps up and leaves the cabin and bids everyone good night. Later on in that evening, a blizzard is blowing, and up on the roof of the chimney, a demonic horned creature lands on the roof, climbing up to the chimney with a big sack on his back and a switch with evil-looking eyes. The next morning, Jacob cries out for his parents. Brian and John and Letty all rush to his room. He then asks, what is the matter, darling? I don't know why, but Krampus has been back, and look, as he shows a scratch on his chest. I have been a good boy Why is Krampus wanting to take me? Then Brian says this is it. We need to find out who is doing this. Then Jacob says, Dad, it's Krampus. Jacob tells him, Otto, where is he? Said John. I don't know, but it can't possibly be him. He's a nice person. Yes, said John, but how well do we know him? He is a complete stranger. We only known him a few days. That is enough, said Brian. It's some local children messing around, and this time they have gone too far. Then John tells him, Brian, there aren't any other houses around here for a mile. This is a mile out of the village. I think we best leave. Then Jacob says, It is Krampus, Dad. Brian then raises his voice, telling him there is no such thing as this Krampus. Then Otto then comes to the door, bidding everyone good morning. Then Brian asks if he has been coming at night and scaring the boy. Otto tells him, No, I do not scare children. But my brother established this morning there is not another house here for a mile, and you are the only one that has been coming from the village. Otto then says, Look, it's a quiet village. The youth get really bored. They probably see this as an outing. In a cold blizzard, said Letty. Look, how about you lock up really tight tonight? I will change the lock in the morning. Anyway, said Otto, there are some more Christmas festivities happening in the village. I was wondering if Master Jacob wanted to see, along with you three, of course. Then Brian says, It is very kind of you, Otto, but today is Christmas Eve. We want to spend the day as a family. Very well, said Otto. Goodbye. I will come back in the morning. Then Brian said, No, I don't want you coming back here until after we have gone on Boxing Day. Very well then, said Jacob. We will have the day together, even though it does sound fun in the village. But it is Christmas Eve, and I want to show that I am a good boy. You are a good boy, said Brian. Otto then says, I will be on my way then. Good day. Letty then saying, You were a little harsh on him. He is a strange man, and if he comes back here and terrorizes our boy again, I am calling the police. Later that day, Jacob says, Do you think Santa will come? Brian then telling him, I know he will, my son. Now go on, off you go to bed. As he tucks him in and kisses him good night, he goes downstairs and lays the presents under the tree. He then says to Letty, Are you coming up? I will very shortly, darling. I'm just going to have a nice hot chocolate. Okay, well, I'll keep the bed warm as he kisses her and goes to bed. Then John says to her, I can't wait till New Year. Letty explaining to him, I don't know. How will Jacob take all of this in? Then John tells her, look, next week it is going to be a new year, meaning a fresh start for us all. You don't love Brian anymore. And you thought a child could, well, save your marriage. But it hasn't. You love me. Then Letty says, look, let's just get through the rest of this holiday, okay? And then we can talk things through properly. Then she goes to bed. Later on in the evening, when everyone is fast asleep, Brian and Letty are then awoken by a huge stamp on the roof. He then asks, what is that? I don't know. They then creep to the landing. John also follows, saying, what on earth is going on? We don't know, be quiet. Then Brian looks and says, wait a minute, Letty, look. Your back, it has scratches on. John then saying, yes, how did you get them? Then Letty runs to her closet and finds her shoes, her plain shoes, and finds a switch in hers. She then looks and says, Jacob. They then run downstairs and find Jacob standing still. Then Brian says, Jacob, son? Turning around with a smile, he says, he is here. Who is here? Said Brian. I am, said Otto as he appeared out of the dark. Then Brian said, Otto, I said I do not want to see you here for the rest of the stay. Otto then saying, oh, Otto, that was merely a disguise to hide who I truly am. Then John says, Jacob, get behind your father. Then Otto then says, oh, this human form, so uncomfortable, as he then starts to transform. His eyes glow red, his tongue grows long, horns manifest from his head, and his feet turn into hooves. He then grows hair all over his body, and then chains appear around him with a sack and a switch. Then Otto turns out to be none other than Krampus himself. Then John looks in disbelief. Brian then says, no, this is just a dream. Krampus then says, oh, I assure you it is real. Someone is being very, very naughty. Then John says, why are you here? What do you want with my nephew? Then Krampus says, you're right. I want to take the boy. But not because he has been naughty. No, he has been a good boy. It is you three who have been naughty. Then Brian says, what do you mean? Krampus then says, tell the truth, Brian. You did not pay for this holiday with your Christmas bonus. No, please. said Brian. Tell the truth, said Krampus, or I will take your son right now. Brian then says, I'm so sorry, darling, but I have stolen this holiday from my boss, well, ex-boss. I was announced redundant at the beginning of the month, and in an angry rage I went to his house. I demanded to have my Christmas bonus even though I no longer worked for him. I beat him and his wife, tied them up and locked them away into a cupboard, and I saw the tickets and the brochure. I took them both, and then I had enough money for 2 extra tickets. John split with his wife last Christmas. I thought he could do with the trip. I'm sorry. Good, said Krampus. Now for you two, Letty and John. Then Letty telling Krampus, fine. John saying, don't say anything to him. No, this has to come out now, said Letty. Brian, I'm sorry, but this baby is not yours. It is John's. We have been having an affair for the last year and a half. It is his child, and I am so sorry, said Letty. Then John said, well, it's best this is all out in the open then. Brian then saying, you bitch. If you are going to leave me, I am taking my son with me. Then Krampus saying, no, I am going to take your son. But he has been nice. What do you want him for? Said John. Yes, what do you want my son for? Said Brian. Because I want to take him away from you. Free. Letty and Brian telling Krampus if they are going to punish anyone, punish them. Krampus then tells them, I am punishing you by taking what is dear to you. He will live forever with me, along with your baby. I will take that as well. Then Letty tells Krampus, but you can't. I am only 2 months gone in my pregnancy. Oh, are you? Krampus then neatly spreads his claws and touches her stomach. Then her pregnancy speedens as she grows big and immediately falls into labor, turning 9 months into 9 seconds, and gives birth. Krampus then picks up the child and says, it's a boy, and he will be mine forever. Then John saying, that is my child. No, he isn't, says Krampus. Krampus then strokes the baby's cheek, as the baby then turns into a hideous, evil-looking elf. Then Jacob walks up to Krampus, saying, please don't take me away from my mother and father and uncle. Krampus then telling him, but you will live forever, and they are naughty people. I want to take you away because you're nice. Krampus then strokes him on his cheek, and he then turns into an evil, hideous-looking elf. Then police sirens are then heard. Krampus then saying, "Do you hear that, Brian? Your boss must have broke out of his restraints and called the authorities. This is his lodge after all. They're coming for you." Then, all three of them begging Krampus to not take the boys. Krampus then walks away with them both. As Brian, Letty, and John attempt to stop Krampus, Krampus then has chains that restrain them until he is gone. Then Krampus and the two boys then walk off into the blizzard together as the clock strikes midnight, turning into Christmas Day. And then the police arrive, ready to apprehend Brian for his crimes. As for Krampus, he then takes the two boys back to his realm, where they will live forever. Did you enjoy that story? Yes. So basically, you must be good, because if you're not, Krampus will come for you, and even if you are not a child, he will take what is dear to you. So yes, that is it for this festive edition of the show. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then be sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you like. Share. Tell us in the comments what was your favorite story. Did you like them both? Do tell. Well, yes, as I said, this is it for the Christmas special. I shall be back in 2019 with more new terrifying tales to tell you. So until then, don't have nightmares. Oh, and a Merry Christmas to you, and a Happy New Year. Goodbye for now.